newly almost minted PhDs were to give a truthful speech about how they feel right now, they really feel, when the dark cloud of the dissertation is still hovering, it would go something like this. I wish my department burned down right now. Of course, no people inside, but all the paperwork and my dissertation. Why did I ever thought of doing a PhD? My dissertation deserves the prize for worst piece of writing since writing was invented. In fact, my dissertation is a negative contribution to my discipline, which doesn't matter because there isn't really a discipline which would claim it as their own. I'll never find a job. I will end up a pauper living under a bridge, and I hate everybody. That's it, that's my speech. But then again, as with all great pains that bring great joys, a few days after dissertation is filed, all this disappears, and suddenly we start speaking about our Berkeley days as the good old days. And if we can be objective for a moment, these are the good days. There's the freedom and privilege to learn, the company of smart and interesting fellow students and professors, and sometimes even a real splendid California weather. And speaking of the privilege and freedom to learn, here are some lessons that the three of us learned while doing our PhD, which we're eager to pass on. So the first lesson is we actually have the answer to the question that has really troubled generations of master's commencement students. What is a nice school? And the answer is nobody knows, nobody cares. And, you know, just do something you think it's worthwhile and interesting, and the rest will take care of itself. Then the second lesson is really a trope of PhD speeches. Our second lesson was that procrastination, which, let's face it, is the only discipline where we all have achieved perfect fluency, is in fact a very good thing indeed, because it lets us do the things that really, at the end of the day, matter. So Liz dedicated herself to yoga practice, but also dedicated grueling hours to fantasy epics involving horses, swords, and made-up languages. She even had a baby with the sole purpose of avoiding writing the middle chapters of her dissertation. That turned out to be a bad idea because having a baby kind of makes you very efficient. Neha chose two classics of student procrastination, fonts and Facebook. So fonts, she became convinced very reasonably that the choice of right font was the most important choice for her dissertation. Never mind content, writing, theory, the right font had to be chosen. So she spent hours, days, weeks studying fonts, becoming an absolute expert and choosing the right one. The second procrastination was Facebook. Yeah, nobody has heard of that, huh? But hear that, she became so good at procrastinating on Facebook that Facebook hired her last summer to write procrastination algorithms. So next time you're glued to Facebook and miss an important school deadline, you can blame her. I myself, on the other hand, just procrastinated. I have read pretty much the entire English language 19th century fictional canon, especially the trashy parts. Charles Dickens stands out for teaching me that pushed against a firm deadline, one can write thousands of words that might not make total sense, but push the story ahead, which sometimes is really all you need. I also watched an unspeakable amount of movies with big explosions and car chases. I don't want to speculate what exactly I was sublimating there, but my dissertation is dedicated to Bruce Willis and Tony Stark. Between the three of us, we've taken and even taught a fair amount of classes, which has made us appreciate the superhuman effort that it takes to make even young dogs learn new tricks. We've learned, most of all, that in the case of brilliant students, the best that a teacher can do is stay out of the way and try not to ruin them. But in the case of normal students, as we actually all more or less are, a good teacher can really make a big difference. And sometimes teachers and even advisors, dissertation advisors, really do know better than students. Although, funnily enough, we realized that only when we started teaching, because before that, as student, we always know better than our professors. We also learned that good speeches are short speeches. So here are our concluding remarks. Today is a day of celebration and of joy, when all the hard work is forgotten and all that matters is the glow of achievement and success. But, as we've learned doing a Ph.D., anything worth doing will give us some hard times along the way. So when we go through hard times, here's a piece of wisdom to keep in mind from 19th century poet and philosopher Al Swearingen from Deadwood. The world ends when you're dead. Until then, you've got more punishment in store. Stand it like a woman or a man and give some back. Do that and we reckon you'll be all right.